you talk all the time, you know, I'm going to the NBA, I'm going to play here, I'm going to play there. Like, now I'm in a position to actually do it. So it's like, are you going to do it? Am I putting in the work to actually get it done? That was my question. That's what I used to ask myself. Like, the thing I used to always say to myself is, there's a difference between doubting yourself and questioning yourself. Like, I would never doubt myself, but I would always question myself. I would always question, like, could I have ran harder? Like, you know, could I have did a little bit more to become better?
Where are you? Where is Matt Thomas 3-5 years from now? Where do you see yourself?
Matt Thomas 5 years from now will be a veteran professional basketball player. So far, I haven't gotten one.
Alright, man, so tell me a little bit about yourself. Who are you? Where are you in your life right now?
I'm Matthew Thomas. Matt Thomas for short.
Tell me a little bit about where we are right now. What's this park and what's its significance to you?
Morningside Park. Many people that are from the Harlem area knows Morningside Park as it's one of the biggest parks close to Central Park. This is where I grew up. This is where I started shooting my first couple of jump shots at, first girlfriends at, you know, late night tags and everything. Like, you know, you could say I'm a Morningside legend. That's what we called it. Like, you know, when you're one of the greats in Morningside, you're considered a Morningside legend. And this is where it started for me. I mean, my mother used to have to drag me out of the park late at night, 11 p.m., 12 a.m. You know, the cops even knew me out here. They was like, you still out here shooting? And I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm still out here doing my thing. And it was like, well, at least you're staying out of trouble. And this is where I perfected my jump shot at. You know, I developed my crossover. You know, this kept me out of a lot of trouble.
Nice.
Being one of the faces of YouTube basketball makes me feel, I mean, pretty great. You know what I mean? Like, I can impact people from all over the world without them being in the same vicinity that I am. You know, one thing I can say is I've been recording content for like forever. Like, I've been recording content. I've been documenting for so long, and I didn't know what I was gonna do with it. And, you know, now we're here with it. You know, being one of the faces of YouTube is dope. You know, whether I had 100 subscribers or I had 500 subscribers, being that, you know, I'm at 5,000 now, you know, it's dope. You know, I never would have thought that I would be impacting people, you know, to be receiving DMs and messages from people, you know, letting me know that I impacted their life in any shape or form is dope. And, you know, to get a chance to be killing people on camera is even better. How do I know when somebody doesn't want to guard me? You kind of got that kind of like killer mentality. You could kind of tell it in like their eyes, their hands, and their feet. It might sound crazy, but you kind of could tell when a person wants to guard you. You know, like they're like either overly aggressive, you know, they talking, it's all of the hand movement. But when a person doesn't want to guard you, you know, they're more timid. You know, you see them looking left and right a lot, as if as if a pick is coming. You see them more jittery in their steps. You know, they seem like their hips swiveling a lot. And I mean, I've been killing defenders for a long time. Like, you know, I've been killing people at a high rate for a very long time. So I kind of could get the gist and the feel when a person wants to guard me. And, you know, you can kind of smell blood, you know, so, you know, you got to separate the weak from the strong. After my first freshman college game, you couldn't tell me I wasn't going to the NBA. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Like, I was like, the odds were stacked against me from me not starting to, you know, me getting out in the game and turning the ball over. But, yeah, you couldn't tell me I wasn't going to the league. I was like, oh, my first game, I had 15 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. I'm like, yeah, things is going to take off. After that, you know, things did get interesting. I felt like the coach would have seen that he made a mistake having me come off the bench. I think that was one of the biggest things that I was like, okay, now I think this is about to change. But I think I was still coming off the bench. And it was unsettling for me, you know, coming from a high school where you're the best player and you lead in all categories, then coming to a college where you're playing behind players that you don't feel like is better than you. It was tough. You can tell it impacted my mental and like my thought process and as I played, because that just let me know that I feel like the coach didn't have confidence in me. You know, the way he expressed himself throughout practice and the games, you know, kind of impacted me as well a little bit. My JUCO coach was a very passionate coach. Love him to death. You know, I grew to love him because throughout the time of him coaching me, I was able to win. If we were in a losing situation, I don't know if that relationship would have gone the direction that it went. We were winning, it made things a little bit easier. It was like, you know, you really can't complain. You know, obviously he knows something more than what you know. Obviously the talent on the team is working. So you really can't complain. But there were moments where, I mean, he was just flat out, like, crucial. Like, I mean, cursing me out publicly, you know, cursing me out in practice, you know, telling me I'm not that good. It just seemed like he leaned on other players more. And I think the thing that bothered me about that was that, you know, I just put in too much work, you know. And like I said, it's no knock at them. Like, still to this day, I'm friends with all of my teammates. I'm still friends with my coach and stuff like that. But during that time, if I didn't have the foundation and the mental that I had, you know, it could have broke me down as a player. It could have made me hate something that kept me out of trouble and kept me out of jail and stuff like that. And just the way that he expressed himself in certain times just did not go well for me, did not go well. The way I was able to tolerate the toxicity that I experienced, you know, from my coach was I grew up in a tough household.
I raised Matthew, fortunately, as a single parent, and with the grace of God and his help, a stern fist, because I was the mother and the woman in the house. I knew that I had to be as tough as I possibly could on him so that he wouldn't sidetrack and go in the wrong direction. I did everything in my power to put the fear of me in him instead of the fear of God. So that's how I raised him, with a very stern fist, but loving. I let Matthew get away with a lot of stuff, even though it was probably mischievous and being young, but because I basically babied and catered him and let him get away with a lot of things, you know, and that was my Matt. And I wouldn't let nobody or anyone that I thought was trying to do something to hurt him or harm him, emotionally or physically. I did everything in my power to protect that.
But before I grew up in a tough household, I just knew basketball was what I wanted. You know, nothing was gonna stop me. The gym could have been on fire. I'm like, I'm still going to shoot, just letting y'all know. Like, there was nothing that was gonna stop me from basketball. Like, it kept me out of so much trouble. It kept me in shape, you know. I got all the girls, you know, I had the tattoos. Like, I felt a certain way, you know, and I felt like my character just balanced with basketball. And I felt like there was always something bigger than that. You know, it was always something bigger than how somebody else reacted. And there was so much turmoil that I went through to get to that point of basketball, to get to that point of my life. So I was gonna let, you know, someone that felt a certain way, you know, kind of stop me. And going into the next part of, you know, I grew up in a tough household. You know, everything was about what you have done, not what you can do. It was about results. You know, it was like, if you're not getting the results, nobody cares about the attempt. Nobody cares about, oh, you know, it was nice that you tried. Nah, it was like, get it done. I definitely wanted to be outside of the crib. Just reason being is because I just loved that I had access to hooping. And then it was just tough, you know, because then I go to practice, and then I'm worried about if my coach sees my hard work. I'm worried about if my coach will acknowledge me as, you know, one of the best guards. You know, so with me coming off the bench, I know most people be like, you know, coming off the bench ain't bad, you know, now in this day and age. But at that time, it was like coming off the bench for somebody that's not better than me makes it seem like I'm uncoachable, makes it seem like I'm not that good of a player, makes it seem like something for a scout to see me. So this is what I'm telling myself. So, you know, I'm staying up to practice, I'm knocking down 500 jump shots, you know, I'm staying up to practice, I'm running more, you know, I'm stretching, I'm lifting. I'm trying to do so much to make sure I get over the hump, and that I'm not of, you know, the caliber that I felt like I was being treated as. But, you know, like I said, we were winning. So I was able to put that to the back burner and just deal with it. You know, like I said, if we was losing, might have been a different conversation. The way that I was raised and how it helped me display, you know, the talent and my mentality on the basketball court was because my mom was tough. My mom was tough, you know. Single parent household. She was able to, you know, raise me, my brother, and my sister. And we all have gone into different facets of our life. She didn't take it light. She was, you know, basically getting me prepared for the world without me realizing it. One thing I can say is that, you know, during those times, I felt like it was tough. I felt like it was unbearable. I felt like, oh my God, like this is not how a relationship should be or should go. But it just hardened my skin for what I was able to endure furthermore. The validity that I looked into for other people and, you know, the understanding kind of started to disappear. And like I said, you know, you bump heads with your parents all the time. You know, me and my mom bumped heads for a long time, and within that time, you know, I was like, I'm out of here. I'm going to work out. I'm out of here. I'm going to go shoot. I'm out of here. I'm going to go hoop. So although, you know, we had that displacement, it just made me work harder. So anybody else, like even my coach, couldn't really say much to me. It was like, oh, you don't know the pain that I put in to get here. So you're not about to tell me that I'm not as good as I know I am. And if you think that, I'm going to prove you wrong.
That's not easy.
That's as easy,
Hard
right?
work, dedication, man.
So when I left the crib, my problems didn't bother me. When I was at practice, my problems didn't bother me. My focus was, this is your opportunity to get better. This is your opportunity to make your body exactly how you want it. This is your opportunity to exceed on the basketball court. Like, you're not supposed to be here, you know. And your whole life, you know, people just overlooked you. People just thought that you weren't it. You weren't good enough. And it was just like, you'll know when you got to a certain threshold or a certain point when the people that doubted you now support you and tell people that they always believed in you. So I think that was a little bittersweetness that I was searching for at a certain point. And yeah, it got me here. The biggest reason that drove me to be the best basketball player I could be is that I've seen a lot of people fail at it. You know, like, I've seen a lot of people fail at being a basketball player. Growing up in New York City, what people don't know is that, yeah, this is the city of dreams. This is a place where if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. But what people don't speak about is a lot of people come to New York and a lot of people live in New York and they just don't make it. They don't talk about those unsung heroes because it's like, why would we want to talk about them? You know, I didn't want to be that woulda, coulda, shoulda guy. I know I said this years ago in a previous interview, and I was just like, I don't want to be a woulda, shoulda, coulda guy. You know, I just had to get it done. I didn't want to be one of the guys on the block that just played in local tournaments and you know, he was good. He was it, you know. And then after you hit like 30, you stop hooping. I didn't want to be one of those guys that people would be like, well, he just couldn't get it. He just couldn't make it past a certain point. So the fear of knowing of the mediocrity and the fear of me knowing that I didn't get to the dreams that I had as a kid, as a child, it's like no. Like growing up, so many people took my dreams. So many people told me I wasn't gonna be this. So many people told me I wasn't gonna be that. And I had to beat the odds. So I already had in my mind, you know, because I was consistent with beating so many odds that, you know, I'm gonna get here. Like that was the biggest drive. It was like, don't cheat these lines, you know, hit these lines, you know, don't cheat the sprints, you know, do all the sprints. Don't cheat these push-ups. Because if you do that, when it's time for you to hoop, there's gonna be a person that did one more jump shot than you, a person that did one more defensive slide than you, a person that did one more sprint than you, and they're gonna be better than you because you did not put in the work. So I really didn't understand when people just didn't work hard, when people, you know, BS, when people was tripping. I was just like, nah, like this is my life. Like this is gonna make me or break me. This is gonna get me out the hood. This is gonna create a foundation for me. I'm gonna be able to take care of my family with this. So that was a bunch of big motivations for that. A lot of people don't know why I wanted to be so good at basketball. A lot of people have no idea. A lot of people think that I wanted to be so good at basketball because I wanted to be like Kobe. A lot of people thought that I wanted to be so good at basketball because, you know, I wanted to make it to the NBA, obviously. A lot of people thought I wanted to be so good at basketball because, I mean, that's what African-American males want to do. One of the biggest reasons I wanted to be good at basketball is because my father told me I wouldn't be. My father told me that I wouldn't make nothing of basketball. He told me like I wouldn't be that good to get nowhere with it. So subconsciously, every time that I was working out, every time that I was working hard, you know, that conversation of, you know, why are you trying to hoop? Just go get a 9 to 5. It's not gonna do nothing for you. You know, that hit me a little different. You know, because this is a person that's supposed to support you, a person that's supposed to believe in you. It just puts a different feel for me. So that's when people talk trash to me, and people be like, yeah, you're not gonna do this, you're not gonna, what? I don't know you from a hole in the wall. But the person that was supposed to nurture me, raise me, and be there for me told me that I wouldn't make it at this. That's trash talking. So you think what you're saying to me is trash talking? What you're saying to me has no relevance, but you must not know how much pain I put in to get here. You don't know how much heartbreak I put in to get here. You don't know what it was like for me and what I went through to get here. The person that was supposed to raise me told me like, yo, you would never make nothing of this. That's trash talking. So a regular person talk about, you're not that good, you're not it, you know, I'll bust your ass. I hear you, man. I hear you. But subconsciously, you don't even know what type of killer you talking to. Like, you don't even know, like you don't know what type of killer you talking to. I'm built different, and I've always been.